What is the single most you'll understand it when you're older thing? That the quality rather than quantity of friends matters. I'd rather have 4 quarters in my pocket than 100 pennies. Good people aren't always nice people, and vice versa. Edit, thank you for the awards. Nice is not the same as kind. Nice is image management. Kind is caring about other people. Yes. There are all types of combinations of people. Kind, yet manipulative. Successful, yet an asshole. Magnetic personality, but a liar. Can we get McDonald's? No, we have food at home. My so is in his 30s and I still have to tell him that lol. Now I'm like, was McDonald's always this damn expensive? For the price now I might as well get Five Guys or In-N-Out. Time off. Working crazy hours in my early 20s was nice because I had a lot of money, but as I became older and more involved with my now fiancé and my friends, I realized that there's a balance. This drove me to look for a job with a little less pay but far better hours, and now I'm happy. Don't work like a slave, you'll miss a lot of good things in life. Just did that. We'll be working 40 hours a week again instead of 80 hours average. No one looks back on their life from their deathbed and thinks, man, I wish I would have worked more. Sleep is no punishment, it's a gift. Yup, I used to dislike nap times when I was in kindergarten. Now that I'm older, I wish I could take a nap here and there during my work days. Fuck this 100x. I had a babysitter when I was like 7 tell me that someday I would miss taking naps and wish I could take them. My parents made us take naps on Sunday afternoons to give them a break, or now that I think about it, maybe to have sex. Don't know, don't care. Anyway, I remember thinking how silly that statement was. I would never wish I could take naps. Here I am, 24 years old, and naps are the shit. Literally getting older. Never thought much about when adults would say you're still young, just enjoy it. I always wanted to be older because I was tired of HS, wanted to be out of college, etc. Now I want aging to slow down a bit. The thing that is the worst about getting older is seeing your parents and other loved ones age and eventually pass away. When you're a kid, even a high school age kid, you assume these people will just be around forever and things will always stay the same as they were. It makes it easier to be disrespectful and generally take them for granted. I'm now 35, and this year was the first where I started noticing physical limitations with my dad, especially, and that was hard. They're minor for now, but it's only going to get worse. The biggest blow to me is realizing I likely have less than 20 years left with my parents. Losing that constant source of love and support will be hard to take. They've been a rock my entire life. My great-grandmother used to warn us that time speeds up when you're older. By gum, I think she's right. Edit, get a load of these comments. I swear there is more toilet paper here than there's been since COVID. Friendships fading away. I remember my dad telling me all kinds of cool stories about things him and his friends did in the past. I even asked him, why aren't you still friends with these people? He really did basically say, it's complicated, you'll understand when you're older. Even back then I remember thinking, that's crazy, me and my friends will always be friends. Sitting here now in my early 30s and it really hits home. Losing best friends is the hardest. You all just grow up and move away. As much as we hate social media, I'm happy it exists because I can easily contact my old friends. Something a little more light-hearted, but about half the jokes on cartoons like SpongeBob take on a whole new light once you've got more experience under your belt. You either die a SpongeBob or live long enough to become a Squidward. As someone who works in retail, I cannot identify enough with Squidward's quote from the episode where he and SpongeBob went on strike. Nobody gives a care about the fate of labor as long as they get their instant gratification. In my teens and 20s, I just couldn't understand how my parents were so oblivious to celebrities. They were all over TV, their names and faces blasted on everything. It seemed everybody had some strong emotionally charged opinion about every major actor, musician, director, or tabloid magnate. What are they, living under a rock? Didn't take long to find out why. Growing up, I didn't have a pre-existing list of these are famous people, I learned them as they came onto the scene. Eventually, though, they all dropped off the list one by one. The list kept updating. It's a lot harder knowing who is a household name when you also have to know who is last week's news. I was only 30 when I realized I have no idea who famous people are anymore. I just couldn't keep up at all. I've become like my parents. Don't know. And honestly, don't care. Celebrity worship, even as cursory as simply knowing their names, is a vapid, fruitless endeavor. Today's idols are tomorrow's trash. I have not experienced this with movie/TV folks, but in the last 2 or 3 years it seems like all of the musicians on the pop station have been replaced. I used to know who sang just about every new song I liked, now I'm lucky to guess 1 in 10. I try to explain this to my students all the time. They act so shocked and disgusted when I don't know who some random TikTok person is. Why elderly people in nursing homes who get no visitors are so lonely and filled with despair. We had to put my mom in a home because we physically could not care for her anymore. She didn't want to be there and we didn't want her to be. But there weren't any other options. My dad was there every day until he got sick and died. My sister and I stopped in a couple of times a week each. The last month of her life I was there every day. I hope she knew I did the best I could to take care of her. Some of them you feel pretty bad for, until you realize that they were not nice people when they were young. Edit, you can downvote me, but it's true. I worked in geriatrics for 30 years. The sound of your joints exploding every time you get up. Man, I've been getting that since I was in high school. Haha, yeah. Just moving your arm makes something crack. Understanding why your parents wanted you to go play with the awkward kid, or why they were so keen to help you make friends. It's beyond annoying as a kid when your parents try to guide who make friends with, but most parents instinctually know that bad social habits start early, are hard to break, and can be a real burden when you are older. My mom never liked my friend group and it really annoyed me. Looking back, half of them were assholes anyway and the other half were already doing things that led them into a life of drug addiction after high school. I never got into drinking and drugs like that, but everyone around me was doing it and I had every opportunity to. Looking back, she was just looking out for me, and even though she didn't have proof of what we were doing, she was just an adult who had lived and could tell it wasn't a good group of friends. As a kid, my dad always encouraged me to sit with anyone I saw sitting alone at lunch. Looking back, I'm horrified to say that I pretty much rolled my eyes at him every time. Now my heart explodes with love for my dad, knowing that he tried to teach his kids to be kind to those that especially need it. And I'm so ashamed, and just sad that I didn't take him seriously. Things simply just don't work out. A job, a partner, sometimes family, and friends. The most well-intended people just don't always work out. Time, wasting time, and how time flies. It's mid-deck and I'm saying to myself, what the heck, it's been 9 months of COVID and I can't believe this year is almost over. As you age it seems to go faster and faster. When I was younger I felt like time just dragged on some days. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.